we are not invited into the debate at 7 p.m., we will be entering the debate anyway, and it will be up to the police whether or not, the legacy of this debate will be both sides of the aisle and the media coming together to hear from the veterans and hear what's important to them, or will the promises of both these candidates be forever shrouded in the image of veterans of Afghanistan and Iraq going to jail because these candidates cared too little to hear from them? What led to this action was our actions in Denver and St. Paul during the DNC and the RNC alike. In Denver, we led a march of about 10,000 people. We the veterans were up front in uniform, marching in cadence, and we led this peaceful procession of people with zero arrests, in fact, all the way to the DNC gates, where we had a pretty intense standoff with some very well-equipped riot police.
I was there. It was it was pretty tense for a little while.
Crowds dispersed. After the veterans moved on to Minnesota, nobody followed up about us reading our letter. Nobody followed up about its contents. So, and then we went to St. Paul, and we led a similar march to the RNC, and the McCain campaign completely blew us off. So, the message is very much from the McCain campaign.
We marched to the RNC site to present a set of demands to John McCain in regards to the occupations of Iraq and Afghanistan. The leader of our group, Master Sergeant Wes Davies, was allowed entrance into the site, and McCain's people refused to acknowledge him or receive a set of the demands.
We were thankful that at least the Obama campaign did send somebody out to take the letter. However, neither candidates are hearing the issues from us, the veterans, who have a right to have the ears of these candidates. We all volunteered to serve this country. We all volunteered to support and defend the Constitution. And we volunteered with some very specific promises from the U.S. government, least of which is, if you go to war and you come back hurt, or you come back in a bad state of mental health, there will be help available for you. And seeing as this final debate, the central topic is domestic policy, and both of these candidates just voted to pass a massive bailout of the richest in this country, while the VA continues its mission completely underfunded, and we are seeing 18 veterans a day commit suicide, and that is an actual statistic of veterans from all wars of this country. That's not specific to Iraq and Afghanistan now. That's all wars. We're losing 18 a day.
My method of attempted suicide was with a liter of vodka and a dozen pills of Percocet. What my unit punished me for was not putting a gun in my mouth and making my mother bury me in a closed casket. This is not acceptable. I looked for help on Fort Stewart for months.
We have seen a rise in rhetoric around supporting the troops and America's heroes, and we've seen a decline in actual care. And what was discovered at Walter Reed is a perfect example of the rhetoric not matching the action, the word not being followed up with action. We will be marching on the debate to have our voices heard.
You bring up a really good point. The media follow-up to the events of the DNC was almost silence. I mean, there was the reaction after they emerged from the meeting with Keys,
right? And
it seemed like, okay, there was a victory of sorts, but was there any further comment, any follow-up from the Obama campaign after that? Any response to the letter that was delivered?
I have heard absolutely nothing. No, I don't believe we've heard anything at all. There was some, I believe, just rumor that Barack Obama was interested in the meeting, but I think that was strictly rumor, because if it were true, we would be talking about that. And no, we've been planning this action in conjunction and coordination with our national office and chapters in IVAW all over the country.
Would you agree that the debate process has been hijacked by both the parties since the Committee for Presidential Debates has taken it over?
I would strongly say that, yes, the presidential campaign has been hijacked from the American people. people own this process. We, the people, own this process. It is our issues, it is what we care about that needs to be addressed. It is not what a small group of folks in the corporate media think need to be addressed. During the first debate, the debate was supposed to be about foreign policy, and it took 34 minutes for the words Iraq and veteran to come out of either candidate.
Have you heard a response from Schaefer's representatives, any representatives of the debates or the campaigns at this point?
No, not yet. I have not.
And they've had, how long so far? They've had at least 4 days.
Yeah, 48 hours.
Okay.
I want to make that very clear, that our objective of going out next Wednesday is not to get arrested. Our objective is to have these issues of overwhelming importance heard by the candidates from us, and we are willing to risk arrest if they are not going to make that happen. People of this country forget that the pundits, the politicians, they do not own this process, this election. They do not own it. We, the people, own it. And we have a right to organize, and we have an ability to do that and to have our voices heard, especially a group of veterans engaging in 100% nonviolent, non-aggressive action. And basically, we see this as the last chance to put pressure on these candidates, in a public forum like this, to address the issues of overwhelming importance to the worries of this nation. And they have not heard them yet. They have not heard from us yet, and we will be going out to the debate with that goal in mind. They will hear from us, or we are willing to risk arrest and bodily harm. This demonstration will be 100% nonviolent. Nobody will resist any type of arrest whatsoever. However, if we are not invited into the debate at 7 p.m., we will be entering the debate anyway, and it will be up to the police whether or not, the legacy of this debate will be both sides of the aisle and the media coming together to hear from the veterans and hear what's important to them, or will the promises of both these candidates be forever shrouded in the image of veterans of Afghanistan and Iraq going to jail because these candidates cared too little to hear from them?